at the second. Hopefully we'll get to see these horses in the Woody Stevens on Belmont Stakes Day. We'll get over to the deserts of Dubai now, take a look at the UAE Derby, run our time, Saturday morning, a Group 2 for $2 million, 3-year-olds, 1 mile on a furlong.
Gates are back and they're racing in the UAE Derby. Soy Libriano and Ra Jr. a little slow to go. The filly So Shiny came out quickly. Regal Ransom began well, and I Am the Best and Layla Durak are going forward shortly after the break. And We Ponderado settling on the rail on the inside of Desert Party. Then the stable companions, Redding Colliery on the inside of Belcase Nov. A length and a half, Jose Adan with the red cap, 2 lengths to Naval Officer. A length and a half to Soy Libriano, and Ra Jr. is 2 lengths away, bringing up the rear. 1,250 metres left to go. So Shiny can't find the rail. Regal Ransom keeps her deep. They lead by 2 lengths to I Am the Best. Desert Party now Posse's on the inside of Layla Durak. 3/4 of a length away, Redding Colliery being ridden along. Then Belcase Nov, Jose Adan, and We Ponderado drifting back on the rail. 2 lengths to Naval Officer, a long way back as they come down the side. Soy Libriano's second last, and Ra Jr. whipped the Derby field in, was short of 800 metres left to go. Regal Ransom and So Shiny, they have been at it for most of the way and coming to the final bend. 600 metres left to go in the third leg of the Triple Crown. Regal Ransom and So Shiny lead into the straight. Desert Party moves into the clear now. Redding Colliery on the rail, followed by Layla Durak, and then I Am the Best. Regal Ransom has gas in the tank and past the 400 metres mark. It's Regal Ransom 2 lengths in front, but now the favourite sets sail after him and they draw clear of So Shiny. Regal Ransom leads, 200 metres left to go. Frankie's hard at work on Desert Party. Regal Ransom won't surrender. Desert Party's a length away. Regal Ransom in front. Desert Party's coming now, but so is the pass. Regal Ransom in front of the upset. Hitting it off and Quinella.
Desert Party was a big favorite here in the States, but his stablemate Regal Ransom actually able to pull off the mild upset here. Regal Ransom, ridden to victory by Alan Garcia, is going to be heading to Kentucky to see if he goes into the Derby. He's certainly got enough greatest stakes earnings now, $1.2 million for winning this race here. Desert Party has already had some greatest stakes winnings as well, so he's good and clear in the picture. So both these horses headed to Kentucky, and a lot to recap in the 3-year-old picture this week.
Certainly, and topping the list was the Florida Derby going in, and it is that way now that the dust has settled. I guess a winning buyer for Quality Road of 103. We found that out from Andy Beyer himself Sunday morning, and certainly Quality Road, that Fountain U Florida Derby double was nothing to sneeze at. Colt by Elusive Quality. Jimmy Jerkins going to the Kentucky Derby with one of the legitimate favorites, and certainly Dunkirk. I mean, any way you look at it, horse light on seasoning, ton of ability, but $150,000 in graded stakes earnings may not get it done. Remember, there's only 19 spots with Mafaz.
Yeah, it's an excellent point. Only 19 spots with the horse getting in the automatic berth in there with Mafaz, and Dunkirk's the kind of horse you really want to see in the Derby, because I think there's a lot of horses that have a similar kind of running style of being up front near the lead. He's one of those contenders that could easily get a good trip, get a good pace in front of him, and come through the stretch with a good rally there. So I'd love to see him in the Derby, but his earnings are going to put him right on the fence now.
More 3-year-olds coming up on Thoroughbred Weekly. Right now we'll take a quick time out. When we come back, Andy Serling and myself will preview this Saturday's Grade 1 Wood Memorial. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Thoroughbred Weekly, everybody. On the clubhouse set, I am now happy to be joined by my colleague Andy Serling. And Andy, it was a long winter. Next Saturday's Wood Day, a long day in the works, a long day coming, and it's certainly shaping up to have some fireworks.
Yeah, it's going to be a terrific day. It really is. I mean, not only the Wood's going to be a really fun race. We're looking forward to the rematch from the Gotham, a couple other horses joining them, but with the Carter coming up and the Excelsior and the Bayshore, it's going to be a very fun day.
Now, going in, I Want Revenge, who obviously shipped east for the Gotham here on March 7th. He's the star of the show. We'll go back and take a look at his impressive effort in the Gotham, a race where, in hindsight, Dynamics certainly favored him. An average pace, it looked like at this time when they come to the top of the stretch, Joe Talamo aboard I Want Revenge could take Mr. Fantasy at any time he wanted, and the horse did draw off impressively, though.
Yeah, you don't want to... Yes, he had a very good trip. But he won like a good horse. I mean,
No
just
doubt.
because you get a good trip doesn't mean that you run poorly in victory.
Right.
Just because you get a bad trip doesn't mean you ran well. And I Want Revenge was just terrific. And if he runs back to this race in the Wood Memorial and the subsequent Kentucky Derby, he's going to take a lot of catching.
Now, it has been said, horses getting off the synthetics, perhaps first time out on a regular dirt track, that's the race they really explode. What sort of effort do you think he puts in? Now, obviously, as we tape this, post positions, etc., haven't been drawn, so it's tough to really point out the pace dynamics, but how do you think he'll run?
How can he not run well? He was so good in this race. And, look, I'm not a big advocate of the whole bounce theory,
Sure.
and maybe he does run his best race on the dirt the first time out, but this is a good horse. I mean, you watch this race, I just don't see him not running well in the Wood Memorial, and I don't see him not running well in the future. It's just going to be tough. Others have to make up a lot of ground on him. It will be a different story, but whether it's enough to beat him, I don't know.
And as far as topping the list for the different story, we're anxious to see, I think all of us, including Hall of Famer trainer Shug McGahee, anxious to see what kind of ride trip Imperial Council gets. This is a colt by Empire Maker. He debuted on Travers Day last year, beaten a neck or ahead in his debut by Hello Broadway, won his seasonal debut. This is it at Gulfstream Park back in February, like a good thing. But I was surprised, given Mr. Fantasy and I Want Revenge 1-2 with that average pace in the Gotham, this horse was so far behind.
Yeah, he was, and he finished second in the Gotham. But, I think, Rajiv Mirage was riding him. First of all, obviously they don't necessarily want him to be a one-type speed horse, and show horses rarely are. But I think Rajiv felt that there was speed on paper. He saw 2 or 3 horses breaking to the front, and he took them back. Now, he probably ended up farther back than he wanted to, and it turned out the pace was pretty tepid. But with horses like Mr. Fantasy in the race and some others, you would have thought it would have been a faster pace. It didn't work out, but still, I think it worked out well for Imperial Council because he got some education. He had a very nice trip saving ground and moving out into the stretch, but considering the dynamics of the race, they were against him. He ran better than finishing second, beaten 8 3/4 lengths, but not better enough to have run as well as I Want Revenge.
Now, we are dealing with 3-year-olds. It is the springtime, and we've got to give a little plug here to Hall of Fame trainer Nick Zito. Rightfully so. Nick won the Wood Memorial back in 1999 with Adonis. Of course, Go for Gin, and this is his horse, just a coincidence, by the way, in the maroon Robert LaPenta Silks, winning earlier this month at Gulfstream Park in an impressive allowance race. Nick has had prior success running in the Wood, winning the Run for the Roses. Go for Gin comes to mind. What do you think of this colt by Forestry?
He's a nice horse. He's got to improve dramatically to be competitive in the Wood Memorial, and Nick likes to take chances with these horses. But Just Winston's horse that showed some promise early at Saratoga, took a while to break his maiden, but he did come together at Gulfstream and beat a very nice Shug McGahee, Ogden Phipps horse in Gone Astray, who finished second his seasonal debut. Just Winston has some upside. I just don't know if that upside's getting him there in the Wood Memorial.
Okay, looking ahead to Saturday's major Wood Memorial Day card, 11 races in all. First race post will be 1 p.m. You can catch it here on MSG Plus. In addition to the Grade 1 card or handicap, the Wood will actually be, Andy, the penultimate leg in a $400,000 guaranteed all-stakes pick 4.
Yeah, and quite a pick 4 it's going to be with the Excelsior and the Bayshore, as we said before. And the Carter after the Wood might be the race of the year so far.
Andy, thanks for your time. We'll catch you this Saturday on MSG Plus with the Wood and Carter telecast. Right now, we'll take a quick time out. When we come back, we'll finish up Races of the Week at Nat Al Sheba.